If you are currently exhausted, if you are the first person to arrive at the office and the last one to turn off the lights, and yet your bank account has remained flat for 3 years, you are not the victim of bad luck. You are the victim of bad physics. There is a silent, invisible geometry that governs the flow of money and power in every organization, every market, and every social circle. Most people live and die without ever seeing the blueprints. They believe that if they simply increase their output, if they work harder, faster, and with more integrity, the system will eventually reward them. This is the lie of linear progression. It is the comforting bedtime story society tells to keep the machinery running. The truth is far colder, and it is something Niccolo Machiavelli understood 5 centuries ago. Effort does not generate wealth. Position generates wealth. You are currently trying to use force to overcome geometry. And in a battle between force and geometry, geometry always wins. We need to perform a surgical autopsy on the concept of merit. Look at the hierarchy of your workplace or your industry. You will often see a specific archetype, the high-functioning burnout. This is the person who knows how every system works. They are the ones who fix the printer, calm the angry client, check the code, and organize the holiday party. They are indispensable. They are the highest performer in the room, and they are stuck. Why? Because of the competence paradox. In architecture, there is a stone called the keystone. It sits at the center of the arch, bearing the weight of the entire structure. If you remove the keystone, the arch collapses. If you are the most competent person in your role, if you are the one who gets things done, you have inadvertently made yourself a keystone. You have made yourself structurally immovable. The manager looking at you does not see a future leader. They see a load-bearing wall. To promote you would be to destroy the stability of the department. It would be expensive and painful to replace you. Therefore, your competence has become your cage. Meanwhile, the person who does just enough, who is competent but not critical, who spends their time networking rather than executing, is fluid. They can be moved up because they are not holding the building up. I saw this recently with a client in Zurich, a brilliant specialized surgeon. He was, objectively, the most skilled pair of hands in the hospital. He worked 60 hours a week, destroying his health to save patients. He assumed his skill would lead to ownership, but the hospital administration never invited him to the board. Why would they? If he is in the boardroom, he isn't in the operating theater generating revenue. His position was production. The board's position was allocation. He was the engine. They were the drivers. The engine wears out. The driver determines the destination. The system is not designed to reward the engine for spinning faster. It is designed to extract energy from the engine and transfer it to the chassis. As long as you view yourself as a unit of production, measuring your worth by how much you do, you are volunteering for extraction. You are engaging in a game of friction, grinding yourself down against the gears of the economy, hoping that the heat you generate will somehow turn into gold. It won't. It will just turn into burnout. You must stop priding yourself on your suffering. In the eyes of the market, your exhaustion is not a badge of honor. It is a sign of inefficiency. It means you are positioned in a high-gravity zone where movement requires immense energy. The wealthy do not defy gravity. They position themselves where gravity works for them. They do not push the boulder up the hill. They own the mountain. To escape this trap, you must first understand the map. You must stop looking at your career as a ladder to be climbed and start seeing it as a terrain to be traversed. But to do that, we have to look at the world through the eyes of a Renaissance strategist who stripped away the moral illusions of power to reveal the mechanical reality underneath. Niccolo Machiavelli is frequently misunderstood as a teacher of cruelty. In reality, he was simply a student of mechanics. He looked at history and politics not through the lens of how things should be, moral, fair, just, but how they actually are. One of his key observations regarding fortuna, fortune or circumstance, is that it behaves like a violent river. When the river floods, it destroys everything in its path. The foolish man stands in the river and tries to fight the current with his bare hands. The wise man builds dikes and canals before the flood arrives. This brings us to the law of position. The law states that your outcome is not determined by your output. It is determined by your coordinates in the economic geometry. Think of value as water flowing down a mountain. It seeks the path of least resistance. It flows through valleys, over rocks, and eventually settles in the deepest pools. Most people are positioned as the rocks. The water crashes against them, eroding them over time. They feel the impact, the stress, the deadlines, the demands, and they mistake this friction for work. They think because they are being eroded, they are being useful. But the rock captures none of the water, it only slows it down. The wealthy are not the rocks. They are the watermill. They have positioned themselves in a choke point where the water must flow to reach its destination. The mill does not fight the water. It simply sits there and lets the gravity of the market turn its wheel. Let's apply this to a grounded reality you see every day, a high-end coffee shop in a busy European capital. Look at the barista. Their position is execution. They are the rock. They are in direct contact with the friction, the heat, the noise, the rush of customers. If they stop moving, the value creation stops. Their leverage is 1-to-1. 1 hour of sweat equals 1 hour of pay. Now look at the brand manager who designed the menu and the aesthetic. Their position is structure. They did the work once, creating the system, the recipes, the look. And that work now replicates across 5 or 10 locations. They are not sweating behind the machine. Their leverage is 1-to-10 or 1-to-50. Finally, look at the landlord who owns the building on the corner. Their position is source. They do not make coffee. They do not manage brands. They simply own the coordinate, the literal position in space where the foot traffic exists. They hold the choke point. The coffee shop cannot exist without the land. Therefore, the landlord captures a massive percentage of the value generated by the barista's sweat and the manager's brain, while doing zero active labor. This is the Matthew effect in action, a concept from sociology which states that, to those who have, more will be given. It is often cited as a moral failing of capitalism, but if you look at it coldly, it is just structural efficiency. The system rewards the container, not the contents. If you are angry about this, you are wasting energy. Gravity does not care about your anger. You cannot guilt the river into flowing uphill. The market is not a moral judge. It is a mechanical distributor of energy. It asks only one question: where is the leverage? If your position has zero leverage, you can double your skill, you can double your hours, and you can sacrifice your weekends. But you are merely multiplying a zero. This is why you see brilliant, talented people drowning in debt while mediocre strategists thrive. The strategist found a better coordinate. To stop drowning, you must stop trying to swim harder and start looking for the dry land. You need to identify where you currently sit on the hierarchy of leverage. Most of you are trapped in Tier 1, believing you are climbing a ladder when you are actually just walking in a circle. To navigate this terrain, you must discard the corporate org chart. The org chart is a fiction designed to make you feel progress where there is none. It tells you that moving from junior analyst to senior analyst is a change in position. It is not. It is merely a change in status. You are still in the exact same mechanical bracket. In the real economy, the shadow economy of leverage, there are only 3 tiers. You are currently standing in one of them, and unless you fundamentally change your relationship to value, you will die there. Tier 1 is the operator. This is the domain of execution. You are the engine. Whether you are a cleaner earning minimum wage or a corporate lawyer earning 200,000 euros a year, if you are in Tier 1, the mechanics are identical. You sell time for money. Your income is tied strictly to your presence. If you stop moving, the money stops flowing. The trap of Tier 1 is that it seduces you with the illusion of mastery. You think if you become the best lawyer, the best designer, the best surgeon, you will escape. You won't. You will simply become a more expensive engine. You are still linear. You have zero leverage because your output is capped by your biology. You can only build 24 hours in a day. The system loves operators because they bear all the friction. Tier 2 is the conduit. This is the domain of connection. The conduit does not create the product, nor do they own the company. They control the flow. They sit between the problem and the solution. Consider the indispensable executive assistant at a major firm in Frankfurt or London. On paper, she is a subordinate. In reality, she controls who gets to speak to the CEO. She filters information. She grants access. She is a gatekeeper. A vice president earning 3 times her salary might have to beg her for a slot on the calendar. Why? Because she occupies a structural hole in the network. She bridges the gap between the chaotic outside world and the decision maker. The conduit uses social leverage. They know the people who need to know each other. Their value is not in what they do, but in who they can reach. They are not the water, they are the pipe. Tier 3 is the architect. This is the domain of ownership. The architect does not run the machine. They designed it. They own the code, the patent, the brand, or the capital. Their work is asynchronous. A decision they made 3 years ago to buy a specific asset, to hire a specific CEO, to structure a deal a certain way, is still generating revenue today while they sleep. The architect uses capital leverage and code leverage. Their marginal cost of replication is 0. If you write a piece of software, architect, it costs nothing to sell it to the millionth user. If you perform a surgery, operator, the millionth surgery costs you the same blood and sweat as the first. Here is the brutal reality check. Most of you are spending your entire lives trying to be a better operator. You are taking courses, getting certifications, and staying late, trying to optimize your engine. You are trying to dig your way out of a hole, but you are just digging the hole deeper. You cannot work your way from Tier 1 to Tier 3. You cannot labor so hard that you magically become an owner. The skills required to be a great operator, perfectionism, attention to detail, high effort, are often the exact opposite of the skills required to be a great architect. Delegation, risk tolerance, strategic neglect. To change your financial reality, you must stop asking, how can I do this task better? And start asking, how can I position myself so that this task is done for me? You need to move from linear effort to leveraged outcome. If you are a freelancer graphic designer, Tier 1, you are capped. To move to Tier 2, you stop designing and start an agency where you connect clients to other designers, taking a cut of the flow. To move to Tier 3, you build a marketplace platform where designers and clients meet automatically, and you take a transaction fee without ever meeting either of them. Identify your tier today. Be honest. If you are an operator, realize that your ceiling is mathematically fixed. No amount of hustle will break it. You need a new vehicle, not a faster engine. If the mathematics of leverage are so irrefutable, if 10,000 hours of owned equity is objectively superior to 10,000 hours of rented labor, why do 99% of people refuse to move? Why do intelligent, ambitious professionals cling to Tier 1 like a life raft, even when they can see it is sinking? It is not because they are stupid. It is because the system has deployed a powerful psychological sedative. We must discuss the certainty tax. Human beings have a biological aversion to ambiguity. We crave patterns. We crave the predictable drip of a monthly deposit. The modern employment contract is a very specific trade. You agree to cap your upside, you surrender your potential for infinite wealth, and in exchange, the employer agrees to absorb the volatility. You are paying a tax for certainty. You are selling your future millions for the guarantee of receiving 4,000 euros on the 25th of every month. But there is a deeper, more insidious psychological trap, particularly prevalent in Europe and the UK, the nobility of struggle. Culturally, we have been conditioned to view hard work as morally superior to smart leverage. We romanticize the exhausted artist, the overworked nurse, the grinder. There is a communal warmth in complaining about how busy we are. When you tell your friends, "I'm swamped, I worked all weekend," you are signaling status. You are saying, "I am needed, I am important." Conversely, the architect, the owner who makes money while spending Tuesday morning at a cafe, is viewed with suspicion. We think they are cheating. We think they are lazy. And because you are terrified of being judged by the herd, you sabotage your own escape. You stay busy to prove you are a good person. I see this constantly with mid-level executives in London. They complain endlessly about the golden handcuffs. They despise the politics, the commute, the lack of autonomy. Yet offer them an opportunity to take equity in a smaller venture where their income is performance-based, and they recoil. Why? Because in a job, if things go wrong, it is the company's fault. It is the market's fault. It is the boss's fault. You can go to the pub and complain. You are the victim, and the victim is a safe social position. If you step into ownership, if you become the architect, and things go wrong, it is your fault. There is no one to blame. There is no shield. Moving from Tier 1 to Tier 3 requires you to abandon the comfort of victimhood. You must understand a concept called anti-fragility. A Tier 1 position, the operator, looks safe because it is stable, right until it breaks. It is fragile. You have a single point of failure, your employer. If the merger happens or the AI replaces you, your income goes to zero instantly. A Tier 3 position, the architect, looks risky because it is volatile. Income fluctuates, but it is anti-fragile. The architect has multiple clients, multiple assets, multiple streams. If one dries up, the others sustain the structure. The pattern. Interrupt. You have been lied to about the definition of safety. You think safety is a steady paycheck. Real safety is control. The passenger feels safe because he doesn't have to steer, but he is the first to die in the crash. The driver is stressed, but he decides where the car goes. Here is your practical tool for this section, the risk reversal audit. Take a piece of paper, draw a line down the middle. On the left, write risks of leaving. You will list things like no steady pay, might fail, humiliation. On the right, write risks of staying. Be brutal. Risk of skills becoming obsolete. Risk of income never beating inflation. Risk of waking up at 50 having built someone else's dream. Risk of being fired with zero leverage. When you look at the list on the right, you will realize that staying still is actually the most aggressive gamble you can make. You are betting your entire life on the benevolence of a system that views you as a line item in a spreadsheet. So how do we move? How do we cross the chasm from the exhausted operator to the strategic architect without going bankrupt in the process? You do not need to quit your job tomorrow. That is reckless. You need a migration strategy. The most dangerous advice in the self-improvement space is burn the boats. You are told to quit your job, take a massive risk, and force yourself to swim. This is not strategy. This is suicide. The wealthy do not gamble with their survival. They gamble with their surplus. To move from operator to architect, you do not leap. You shift your weight. You must treat your migration like a hostile takeover of your own life. It requires patience, secrecy, and cold calculation. You are going to use the resources of your current position to build your next one. Step 1 is the reframing. Stop viewing your employer as your boss or your master. View them as your angel investor. Every month, they wire you capital. Most people take that capital and light it on fire, buying clothes, cars, and drinks to cope with the stress of the job. This is a circular economy of misery. Instead, you must become a ruthlessly efficient allocator of that capital. Your salary is the seed funding for your escape. If you are earning 3,000 euros a month and you spend 3,000 euros on lifestyle, you have a run rate of 0. You are trapped. If you live on 2,000 euros and allocate 1,000 euros to purchasing leverage, you are now building a bridge. What do you buy? You do not buy stocks, yet. You buy time and systems. If you are spending Saturday cleaning your house, you are acting as a cleaner. Hire a cleaner. If you are spending hours debugging code for a side project, hire a freelancer to fix it. You must aggressively buy back your own time so you can invest it in Tier 3 activities. Step 2 is the bridge. While you are still employed, you must identify a structural hole in your industry, a gap where value is leaking. I knew a mid-level logistics manager in Hamburg. He realized that small trucking companies were terrible at filing specific customs paperwork for the UK post-Brexit. It was a nightmare for them. He didn't quit his job. Instead, he spent his evenings building a simple digital template, a checklist system that automated this specific paperwork. He didn't sell his time consulting. He sold the template product. At first, it made 500 euros a month, then 2,000 euros. When the income from the template structure exceeded 75% of his salary, labor, he walked away. He didn't jump. He simply stepped off a sinking ship onto a yacht he had already built. Step 3 is the gatekeeper strategy. If you cannot build a product yet, the fastest way out of Tier 1 is to become a gatekeeper. A gatekeeper does not own the asset, but they own the access to the asset. Real estate agents are gatekeepers. Headhunters are gatekeepers. They produce nothing, yet they are often paid more than the people who do the work. Why? Because information asymmetry exists. The buyer doesn't know where the seller is. If you are a talented copywriter, Tier 1, stop trying to find more clients. Instead, find 10 other copywriters, vet them, and position yourself as the premium copy agency. You find the clients, access, and you farm out the work to the writers, labor. You keep the margin. You have moved from digging the hole to selling the shovels. Here is your practical tool, the leverage audit. This weekend, look at every task you perform. Label them L, linear, or A, asymptotic/leveraged. Sending an email, L. You do it once, it sends once. Writing a newsletter, A. You write it once, 10,000 people read it. Fixing a bug, L. Recording a training video on how to fix the bug. A. Your goal is not to eliminate work. It is to aggressively migrate 10% of your weekly hours from L tasks to A tasks. If you do this consistently, the compounding effect is mathematical magic. In 2 years, you will not just be richer, you will be structurally different. But be warned, as you begin to shift your weight, the people around you will notice. The herd does not like it when one of the sheep starts walking upright. They will call you distant. They will say you have changed. And they are right. You are no longer playing their game. You now possess the map. The feeling of righteous indignation, the burning sense that the world is unfair because you are working harder than your boss, should be dissipating. It is being replaced by cold, surgical clarity. You are not losing because you are inadequate. You are losing because you are fighting a war of attrition against an opponent who is waging a war of position. The market is not a moral judge. It is a mechanical ecosystem. It does not care about your sweat, your sacrifice, or your good intentions. It flows where the structure dictates. The rich get richer not through magic, but through mechanics. They have built the dams while you are still carrying buckets. So where do you go from here? You do not need to burn down your current life. You simply need to begin the renovation. Here is your immediate tactical plan to shift your coordinates from downstream to upstream. First, execute the competence withdrawal. Stop volunteering for high-friction, low-leverage tasks. When the office needs someone to organize the files, plan the party, or fix the printer, do not raise your hand. Let the silence in the room become uncomfortable. By refusing to be the hero of the trivial, you protect your energy for the strategic. You must become slightly less useful as an operator, so you have the capacity to become an architect. Second, map the value chain. In your specific industry, trace the money back to its source. Who pays? And more importantly, who holds the choke point before the money reaches you? Is it the platform, the agency, the compliance officer? The person who owns the client relationship is the person who owns the leverage. Your goal over the next 12 months is to move one step closer to that choke point. If you are the writer, become the editor. If you are the editor, become the publisher. Third, identify one structural void. Look for the problem that everyone in your sector complains about, but no one fixes because it is too boring or too complex. That boredom is your barrier to entry. That complexity is your moat. If you can build a system, a template, a software, a process that fills that void, you create a vacuum. And in this universe, power flows into vacuums. This channel, Velvet Dagger, is not about aggressive alpha posturing or loud motivation. It is about the quiet, dangerous work of self-mastery and strategic defense. We do not teach you how to fight in the mud. We teach you how to position yourself so that the mud never reaches you. If you are ready to stop being the engine and start being the driver, and if you want the deeper psychological frameworks that we cannot discuss in the open algorithm, consider subscribing. We are building a directory of architects here. Machiavelli's final lesson to the prince was not about attack. It was about stability. He knew that Fortuna is a violent river. It will flood, the economy will crash, the industry will pivot, AI will arrive. If you are standing in the river, you will be washed away. If you have positioned yourself on the high ground, the flood does not drown you. It only raises the value of your dry land. The water is rising, stop swimming, start building. Script completed.